Howdy folks, and welcome to the World of Warships Phantom Fortress Halloween event with Rear Admiral Jingles. What's the Phantom Fortress? That's the Phantom Fortress. That is a Tier 9 Essex class American aircraft carrier. And very, very nice it is too. Check out the aircraft on the flight deck. There's some pretty unique designs on display there. The Phantom Fortress has a sister ship, and there it is, the Salem Witch, and that is an American Tier 10 Des Moines class cruiser. Well, I say Tier 10 and Tier 9, but that's Tier 4. And the Phantom Fortress carrier plays at Tier 5. What the hell is going on here? Well, this is part of the challenge that's currently running until the 3rd of November on the World of Warships servers. The event started on the North American server and it's been extended to the EU server. If you find yourself in a match with one of these ships, either the Phantom Fortress or the Salem Witch, and you win, you're going to win a package of flags. And there is no limit to the number of times that you can win. Every time you're in a match with one of these ships playing in the same game, and if you were on the winning team, every time you win, you're going to win a flag package courtesy of Wargaming. Now, I realise that you're sitting there right now thinking, hang on a minute, Wargaming put down the crack pipe. How can a team that... Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, check that out. I've just noticed. Look at the witch flying past on the broomstick. See if we can get her going across the moon. There it is. Hey! It's like watching E.T. Anyway, yes, where were we? Yeah, Wargaming, what you're talking about. How can a team possibly lose if it's playing in a Tier 4 match and it's got a Des Moines class Tier 10 cruiser in the team list? Well, you'd think so, but I have actually managed to lose a couple of games. And it's not just because I was in an aircraft carrier at the time and I have no idea how to play an aircraft carrier. There has been some balancing going on. First and foremost, the matchmaking. If your team includes one of these, or one of these, then you're probably going to be outnumbered 2-1 by the enemy team. Above and beyond that, if you have a look at the aircraft that this Phantom Fortress carrier is actually equipped with, bear in mind this is, to all intents and purposes, a Tier 9 Essex class aircraft carrier. And there she is. However, she has 4 squadrons under command. She has 2 squadrons of fighters, 1 squadron of torpedo bombers, and 1 squadron of dive bombers. And the person controlling this ship cannot change the squadron loadout. And the fighter squadrons only have 1 aircraft per squadron. The torpedo bombers only have 4 aircraft per squadron. And the dive bombers have 7 aircraft per squadron. So if you're on the enemy team in a Langley class carrier, for example, and you see one of these on the opposite side, it's not necessarily all doom and gloom because the fighters only have 1 aircraft per squadron, the torpedo bombers only have 4 aircraft per squadron. You're still going to be competitive. If you take a look at the Salem Witch, which is the effectively Tier 10 cruiser, down here at Tier 4, you'll see that it does not have the defensive fire cooldown. It can only have the hydroacoustic search consumable. So that's kind of good news, although you probably still don't want to go anywhere near it with biplanes from your Tier 4 or 5 aircraft carrier, because, yeah, alright, it still does have the 62 anti-aircraft defense rating. But have a look at the maneuverability. It has a maximum speed of 16.7 knots. This is a very, very, very slow Tier 10 cruiser. And while the rudder shift time of 8.6 seconds is pretty good, the speed is so slow that it still takes forever to turn this thing around, so it's very, very, very vulnerable to torpedo attack. On top of that, of course, these ships do have their Tier 9 and 10 surface detectability range, so you're going to see them from the other end of the map. The Salem Witch here can be spotted from a range of 13.9 kilometers away, and the Phantom Fortress, it's even worse, can be spotted from a range of 14.9 kilometers, and I can tell you from bitter experience that it is very, very difficult to avoid getting shot at when you're in this thing in a Tier 5 game. You're just one great big floating XP and credit pinata for the enemy team the second you get spotted. 56,300 hit points worth of experience and credits for the enemy team when they see this thing. The Salem Witch, it's kind of easier to be competitive in this thing because as a Tier 10 cruiser, it does get the repair party consumable. So I've been having fun in this. Not so much in this. For all those of you who are sitting there thinking, hang on a minute, I just logged into World of Warships and I didn't see these things in my port. I nearly said hangar there, I've been playing too much World of Tanks. No, Wargaming employees and community contributors only. If you see anybody sailing one of these ships, they're going to be either working for Wargaming or they're going to be a YouTuber or a live streamer like me. And I thought I'd show you one of the games that I had in this thing. Well, not that thing, because they just sucked. They were really, really bad. But just show you how close some of the games can be, even if one of these things is on the enemy team, and give you some tips in how to win when you're facing off against one of these things. So, game on. So, first things first, that's the kind of matchmaking you can expect to see if one of these two ships is on the enemy team. You have a massive numbers advantage. Use it. Don't forget, this cruiser only has a best realistic speed of 16.5 knots. It's gonna get left behind. Use that numbers advantage while you still have it before this cruiser brings its firepower to bear on you and starts sinking your ships. On the other hand, if your team does have one of these ships, then stay with it. You're going to be massively outnumbered. Your only advantage is the fact that you've got one of these cruisers on your team. Don't go rushing off away from it. Stick together. It's going to take its time getting to where it needs to go, but at least when it gets there, the enemy team aren't going to know what to shoot at. Are they going to shoot at the Salem Witch because, hey, I want to sink the special event ship, which tends to be what happens. In which case, it can weather the storm. It's got a repair consumable and it's got a lot of health. And while it's getting shot at, they're not shooting at you, and you can just wreak mayhem on the massed enemy ships that you are going to run into, because you're going to be heavily outnumbered if one of these ships is on your team. You see, speaking as somebody who's actually sailed one of these ships in a random battle, my biggest issue is running out of support before I can bring my guns to bear. Now the guns, and it does have a very, very impressive gun battery, by the way. This is, to all intents and purposes, a Des Moines class Tier 10 American cruiser. It has 9 auto-loading 203mm guns in 3 turrets, 2 up front, 1 at the rear. This thing can fire 90 shots per minute under optimal circumstances. And my biggest problem was running out of support. As you can see, my team split up. This is not ideal, and the majority of the enemy ships, who outnumber us anyway, are coming around the northern side of the Solomons map here. And I've only just gotten into range, and I'm actually starting to be able to support my team. We've just lost the destroyer, and we haven't sunk any enemy ships yet, so outnumbered anyway, and well, it's, you know, it's not ideal. We've already lost a ship. We've lost another ship. When you're in a situation like this, okay, there we go, we've pulled one back, we've nailed an enemy cruiser. When you're in a situation like this, it's kind of like the historical battles in World of Tanks. Those of you who ever played the old historical battles will know what it's like when the historical matchmaking says that one team has to have, for example, 2 Jagdtigers and 2 Tigers and then 3 Panzer IVs. Nobody wants to be in the Panzer IVs. And if the guys in the Jagdtigers have no idea what they're doing, well, you've lost. That much power in the hands of just 1 or 2 players is fantastic if the players know what they're doing. But if they don't know what they're doing, your team's in serious trouble. And that's exactly the situation that you have here. And I can only apologise to all the teams that had me yesterday when I took these 2 ships out for a spin, that had me in the Phantom Fortress carrier, because I had no idea what I was doing. I never play carriers. I did some damage, but I didn't do nearly as much as I should have done in what, to all intents and purposes, is a Tier 9 carrier in a Tier 5 match. In the Salem Witch, however, it's a cruiser. I know what I'm doing in cruisers, and, well, the firepower on this thing is just ridiculous. I really cannot wait to get my hands on this thing. 90 shots per minute, armor piercing, high explosive. It just never stops shooting. And I'm pretty sure I'm about to nail this guy. What I'm trying to do is maintain the range advantage, and it's not as easy to do as it sounds, because this thing will only do a realistic speed of 16.5 knots. You can rely on being the slowest ship in the battle, which isn't going to be an issue for you, because none of you guys are sailing these things. You're sailing with them or against them. But from the perspective of somebody who's actually played one of these things in a random battle, and you're going to see how close the enemy team comes to taking me out in this game. Oh, bit of a spoiler there. Well, I'm not going to show you a bad game, am I? I'm running out of allies. You can see the ships up in front of me are the ones that the enemy team, who do outnumber us, at least on this side of the map. Well, they outnumber us everywhere. They've got twice as many ships as we do. But I'm running out of allies. The enemy ships up here have been concentrating on the ships that they know they can damage, because they see this massive cruiser and they really don't want to get too close to it. And that's fine. That is going to work to their advantage. They're doing the right thing here. They've come around the north end of the Solomons map mob-handed. There's a couple of ships having a little fight down at the southwestern end of the map, but they're pretty much a sideshow. They're concentrating fire on that other friendly ship just up ahead, and once he's gone, I'm next, and he's not going to last much. There we go. We've now lost 5 ships. There's only 4 of us left. And here it comes. I am now the focus of everybody's attention. And this is exactly the situation you don't want to be in. You've just run out of allies, you are not fast enough to run away, and even if you do run away, well, you've only got 3 gun turrets firing back at the 6 or 7 ships that are chasing you, all of which are faster than you, most of which have torpedoes. You have to stand and fight. If one of these things is on the enemy team and you get them in this kind of situation, chase him. It doesn't matter whether he turns to run away or whether he stands and fights. You have to close in and you have to hammer him with the torpedoes. Sitting back at long range and spamming high explosive, well, it can work. 50,000 health on this thing, and this is pretty much what most of these guys do. They try to stay at maximum range because they don't want to get close to the big nasty cruiser. This destroyer has a go. And if they'd all done this, this battle might have ended up differently. Luckily for me, it's one of the new Soviet destroyers, so his torpedoes are terrible. They only have a 3-kilometer range. I've just marked him as a priority target for my secondary batteries, and you can see them firing away there, most of them missing. I have armor piercing loaded, not ideal, but he's very low on health, and it took him out anyway. I've switched to high explosive in anticipation of having to shoot at this guy again. Enemy battleship getting close, doing what he needs to do. Hit him with some high explosive, and then I lose sight of him in the smoke screen that was dropped by the destroyer just before I killed him. But look at how my health is melting away under this concentrated barrage from these 5 enemy ships. As I turn the guns around to deal with that destroyer, these guys have peppered me with long-range high-explosive fire. I've actually been pretty lucky here. If you see anybody playing one of these ships, you don't earn any experience or credits while playing one of these ships. So that means you can never improve your captain skills. So basically anybody in one of these ships managed to nail another one. This is what I need to do. I need to reduce the number of guns shooting at me. But if you do see anybody sailing one of these ships, they've got a 3-point captain, and that's it, and that's all they're ever going to have. Additionally, another little tip for you, if you do see one of these ships on the enemy team, and they're being sailed by a YouTuber or a live streamer, they probably haven't spent a lot of their own money kitting this ship up with equipment upgrades. I know I certainly haven't, because I've no guarantee that I'm going to get the money back when the ship is removed from my account on the 1st of November. On the other hand, if you see somebody sailing one of these ships and they've got a wargaming tag, they probably do have the ship fitted out with various different equipment upgrades. So take advantage of that if you spot a famous YouTuber or live streamer. And by the way, just have a look at the amount of health I have remaining on this ship. I'm just sitting here waiting for that damage repair party consumable to come back off cooldown, because they've nearly got me. But they only set me on fire once. And that was very, very surprising, because I don't have the equipment that reduces the chance that your ship's going to be set on fire. And here it comes. And I've sunk one of them, and there's another 3 of them behind me. There was another one back there that I hadn't seen, but I'm going to be able to repair, and this is my final shot of the cooldown. There it goes. I can start recovering health. There are torpedoes in the water. It looks like he got the torpedoes away before. You can see how slowly this thing turns. The rudder shift time's good, but the top speed is so slow that it just turns slowly anyway. Although actually I think those torpedoes were launched by that destroyer. Yeah, they were. Friendly destroyer has now come to my assistance, and I badly, badly needed it. There he is. He's got some torpedoes away, and it looks like he's going to take care of that battleship. So back to the high explosive, and I'm going to... Well, yeah, I think we've got this. I think I can probably survive at this stage. Going to go for the destroyer. I don't want that guy getting close enough to launch torpedoes. 1 torpedo potentially is going to be enough to sink me at this stage. I can't outrun them, but I can at least maintain the distance and just delay how long it's going to take for that destroyer to get close enough to light me up. Bingo, there we go. Nailed him. Destroyer's still out there. And yeah, we're going to win this one. Well, not necessarily. That battleship can still hit me at this range. And it's unusual. It's very, very unusual for somebody in a South Carolina to be able to maintain the distance on a cruiser who doesn't want to get shot at. The South Carolina is actually faster than I am. Oh, there's the destroyer. Right. I've only got my rear gun turrets firing, but they're 203mm high explosive shells. 3 guns per turret. I only really need to hit him once, hopefully. That battleship is lighting me up. There's more torpedoes in the water. Stay away. But again, extreme range. He's been taken out. There's just the battleship left. The torpedoes were launched too far away. Yep, they've all run out of steam, sunk to the bottom. Here comes the rest of the team. Finally, I'm gonna live. Yay! It was a very, very, very close match. Having one of these things on your team is by no means a guaranteed win, particularly if you've got the Phantom Fortress aircraft carrier on your team, because, well, pretty much everybody knows how to sail a destroyer, a battleship or a cruiser, but aircraft carriers are a different matter. And the one attempt that I took at sailing the Phantom Fortress was an unmitigated disaster. I mean, my team lost because of me. I accept full responsibility for that, and I haven't tried to play it again. But what's going to be surprising, I mean, when you come to see the battle scores and the results here, obviously I'm going to have the most experience because I am in a tier 10 cruiser, even if it doesn't have the defensive fire cooldown and even if it has a top speed of 16.7 knots. But the rest of the guys on my team pulled their weight. You cannot, if you have one of these things on your team, you cannot just sit back and expect this thing to carry the match for you because you'll lose. And the rest of the guys on my team, they played well. The enemy team played well. The rest of my team played well. It was a close match. It almost went the other way. We very, very nearly lost. Have a look at some of these results. The 2 surviving tier 4 destroyers on my team, Talara and Dom Sol, well played you two. 8 kills and 3,500 base experience between the 2 of them. And because they were on the winning team, everybody on the winning team gets a flag package reward courtesy of Wargaming, and that's going to be happening all throughout the course of this event, which ends on the 3rd of November. If one of these ships, either the Salem Witch or the Phantom Fortress, is in the match, doesn't matter whose team it's on, the winning team gets a prize courtesy of Wargaming. So there you go, the Phantom Fortress Halloween special event currently running on the North American and EU servers only. Sorry, Southeast Asian server, it's, well, you're just the red-headed stepchild of the World of Warships servers yet again. North American and EU servers only. And I've got some good news if you are on the North American and EU servers, and bad news if you're on the Southeast Asian server. Sorry guys. I have some packages to give away. 10 packs of 10 Halloween camouflage schemes, which are available for purchase. Let me just pick another ship that doesn't already have it. My Nicholas should do. If you go to the exterior tab, the more alert among you may have noticed that there is a special event camo pattern available for purchase, and it looks like that. 30 gold. And this reduces the accuracy of anybody firing at your ship by 4% and doubles the experience that you earn in the battle in which you have this camouflage pattern equipped. So if you were to combine that, for example, with an equal speed Charlie London signal flag, that's 150% bonus experience from the game in which you have the signal flag and the camouflage pattern on your ship. And since I was helping them run this event by playing the Phantom Fortress and Salem Witch ships, Wargaming have given me 10 packs of 10 Type 3 Halloween special event camo patterns to give away. And so, North American and EU servers only, if you want a chance of winning 1 pack of 10 Type 3 Halloween special event camo, just leave a comment in this video, let me know which server you play on, and what your World of Warships username is. I'll pick 10 winners at random, and you guys will get yourself 10 copies of this camo. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're enjoying the Halloween event. And don't forget, the patch 0.5.1 test server is up, and I will be having a look at that in a video coming very, very soon. As always, folks, take care, and I'll catch you next time.